Hey people of the fort, it is Tuesday, and it's time for us to have a conversation. The semester is now coming to a close, and once again it is time for me to grade notebooks, and then more notebooks, and then more notebooks, and then more notebooks, and then more notebooks. The notebooks are so annoying that I have to stop and color every time. That's what that is. Every time I finish a couple of notebooks, just so I can have a little bit of my mind return. But what I really want to talk to you about is units. Now, we use a lot of different things: meters, miles, kilometers, seconds, hours, liters, gallons, some variety of other things. But the interesting thing about to me is that for the longest time, all of these, what they were is that they were, we had a standard one, and that was what it was. Okay, so originally that we had for length, we had something like an arm that wasn't precise enough. So then we had a platinum iridium bar. That's what this thing is. Then for kilogram, we had this platinum iridium cylinder. But now in modern day, these things are all defined by just strict scientific principles. There is no actual piece for any of these to exist. Let's take the second first. So the way a second works, it used to be there was just one fraction of a year. You know, just some fraction of the Earth doing a lap around the sun. But nowadays, you have an atomic clock. Okay, and the clock has a piece of cesium in it, which is oscillating. How it's oscillating doesn't really matter, but it is oscillating just like a pendulum, over back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, this pendulum, this oscillation, is counted. In fact, it is counted 9,192,631,770. So, when the counter reaches that number, it puts on 1 second. What this means is the clock is only going to be off by 1 second every 100 million years. This is so precise that we realize that a lap around the sun takes different times each year. Now, this also changes the definition of what a meter is. A meter is now the amount of distance covered by light in a vacuum during 299,792,458th of a second, or the inverse of the speed of light. They use lasers to end up figuring what this exactly means, and they get a distance from that. Then using that, the definition of a liter, okay, or a milliliter is 1 cubic centimeter, so volume can be determined from that as well. And then from that, you can get mass. The mass of everything by definition goes by the density of water, the density of water being 1 gram per milliliter. From that, you can find that a weight is ultimately determined from the cycles and oscillations of cesium. And for that, my size comes out to be 3,171 cycles of cesium. And that's how much I weigh. Math. Well, that's it. I gotta go.